the three jewels, also called the three treasures, three refuges, precious triad, or most commonly the Triple Gem Pali, Tiratana, Sanskrit, Ayana, are the three things that Buddhists take refuge in, and look toward for guidance, in the process known as taking refuge. The three jewels are, Buddha, Sanskrit, Pali, the enlightened or awakened one. Chinese, a 1/2 E unregistered trademark euro, far cubed to a cubed, Japanese, a, Batsu, standard Tibetan, Sangsa-Gys, Mongolian, Birken, depending on one's interpretation, it can mean the historical Buddha or the Buddha nature a euro the ideal or highest spiritual potential that exists within all beings. Dharma, Sanskrit, the teaching. Pali, Dhamma, Chinese, E cubed, FC, Japanese, E cubed, Ha, standard Tibetan, Chos, Mongolian, Nom, the teachings of the Buddha, the path to enlightenment. Sangha, Sanskrit, Pali, the community. Chinese, a Florin section, Za-ng, Japanese, a Florin section, Za, standard Tibetan, Dg-dun, Mongolian, Kyufa, the community of those who have attained enlightenment, who may help a practicing Buddhist to do the same. Also used more broadly to refer to the community of practicing Buddhists, or the community of Buddhist monks and nuns. Refuge formula, taking refuge in the three jewels is central to Buddhist lay and monastic ordination ceremonies, as originated by Gautama according to the scriptures. The practice of taking refuge on behalf of young or even unborn children is mentioned in the Majjhima Nikaya, recognized by most scholars as an early text. Taking refuge in the three jewels is generally considered to make one officially a Buddhist. Thus, in many Mahayana and Theravada Buddhist communities, the respective Sanskrit and Pali chant, the Vandanati Sarana is often recited by both monks and lay people. The Burmese Pali version, which differs from traditional Pali pronunciation, is as follows: 1 euro sha euro unregistered trademark euro to the first euro and euro sha euro unregistered trademark euro to the first euro a prefix to the chant when lay members seek the refuge for the second and third times respectively. The Cambodian version, or Aaa Shah, a Permil, was written by Samdek Sangaraja plus or minus an ocean neth with greater descriptions of the three jewels with Cambodian touch at the ending. The Mahayana Chinese-Japanese version differs only slightly from the Theravada, the prayer for taking refuge in Tibetan Buddhism. Importance: the Triple Gem is in the center of one of the major practices of mental reflection in Buddhism. The reflection on the true qualities of the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. These qualities are called the mirror of the Dharma and the Magga Parinibbana Sutta and help the practitioner attain the true mind like a mirror. In the commentary on the Apanaka Jataka, Buddha declares, "Disciples, nowhere between the lowest of hells below and the highest heaven above, nowhere in all the infinite worlds that stretch right and left, is there the equal, much less the superior, of a Buddha. Incalculable is the excellence which springs from obeying the precepts and from other virtuous conduct. By taking refuge in the Triple Gem, one escapes from rebirth and states of suffering. In forsaking such a refuge as this, you have certainly erred. In the past too, men who foolishly mistook what was no refuge for a real refuge, met disaster." Explication: the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are frequently repeated in the ancient texts and are called mirror of the Dhamma, or Dhammadasa. The Buddha, the Blessed One, is an arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. In some traditions the Buddha as refuge is taken to refer to the historical Buddha and also the full development of mind, in other words, the full development of one's highest potential, that is recognition of mind and the completion or full development of one's inherent qualities and activities. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, directly visible, immediate, inviting one to come and see, applicable, to be personally experienced by the wise. Refuge in the Dhamma, in the Vajrayana, tradition includes reference not only to the words of the Buddha, but to the living experience of realization and teachings of fully realized practitioners. In Tibetan Buddhism, it includes both the Kangya and the Tengya, and in an intangible way also includes the living transmission of those masters, which can also be very inspiring. The Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing the good way, practicing the straight way, practicing the true way, practicing the proper way. That is, the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 types of individuals. This Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of reverential salutation, the unsurpassed field of merit for the world. In the Vajrayana, a more liberal definition of Sangha can include all practitioners who are actively using the Buddha's teachings to benefit themselves and/or others. It can be more strictly defined as the realized Sangha or Arya Sangha, in other words, practitioners and historical students of the Buddha who have fully realized the nature of their mind, also known as realized bodhisattvas. And ordinary Sangha, which can loosely mean practitioners and students of the Buddha who are using the same methods and working towards the same goal. Tibetan Buddhism. In Tibetan Buddhism there are 3 refuge formulations, the outer, inner, and secret forms of the 3 jewels. The outer form is the triple gem, the inner is the 3 roots, and the secret form is the 3 bodies or trikara of a Buddha. These alternative refuge formulations are employed by those undertaking deity yoga and other tantric practices within the Tibetan Buddhist Vajrayana tradition as a means of recognizing Buddha nature. History. The 3 gems are called this because of their treasured value to Buddhists, as well as their indestructible and unchanging nature. The 3 gems, when used in the process of taking refuge, become the 3 refuges. In this form, the metaphors occur very frequently in the ancient Buddhist texts, and here the Sangha is used more broadly to refer to either the Sangha of bhikkhus, or the Sangha of bhikkhunis. I go to Master Gautama for refuge, and to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha of bhikkhus. Diamond mind Buddha's mind in his earth body or Nirmanaka is frequently associated with the greatest gem of all, the diamond, the hardest natural substance. In the Anguttara Nikaya, 325, Buddha talks about the diamond mind which can cut through all delusion. Ratana Sutta the expression 3 gems are found in the earliest Buddhist literature of the Pali Canon. Besides other works there is one sutta in the Sutta Nipata, called the Ratana Sutta, which contains a series of verses on the jewels in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In the Ratana Sutta, all the qualities of the Sangha mentioned are attributes of the Buddha's enlightened disciples, one who is irascible and very irritable, displaying anger, hatred and sulkiness. Such a one is said to be a person with a mind like an open sore. One who understands the 4 noble truths correctly is said to have a mind like a flash of lightning. One who has destroyed the mind-intoxicating defilements and realized the liberation of mind and the liberation by knowledge is said to have a mind like a diamond. Jainism and Taoism Jainism and Taoism also use 3 jewels metaphorically. When Buddhism was introduced into China, Ratnatraya was translated as Sanbao, a term that first occurred in the Tao Te Ching. In his analysis of the Tao Te Ching, Victor H. Meyer notes that the jewel metaphor was already widely used in Indian religious metaphor before the Tao Te Ching was written. In Jainism, the 3 jewels constitutes the path to liberation, Samyak Dharana, Samyak Jar plus or minus an hour, Samyak Charitra. Art. The 3 jewels are also symbolized by the Triratana, composed of a lotus flower within a circle, a diamond rod, or vara, and an Ananda Chakra, a trident, or Trisula, with 3 branches, representing the threefold jewels of Buddhism, Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. On representations of the footprint of the Buddha, the Triratana is usually also surmounted by the Dharma wheel. The Triratana can be found on frieze sculptures at Sankai as the symbol crowning a flag standard, as a symbol of the Buddha installed on the Buddha's throne, as the crowning decorative symbol on the later gates at the stupa in Sankai, or, very often on the Buddha footprint. The Triratana can be further reinforced by being surmounted with 3 Dharma wheels. The Triratana symbol is also called Nandapada, or bull's hoof, by Hindus. Coins A number of examples of the Triratana symbol appear on historical coins of Buddhist kingdoms in the Indian subcontinent. For example, the Triratana appears on the 1st century BCE coins of the Kingdom of Kuninda in the northern Punjab. It also surmounts the depictions of stupas, on some the coins of the Indo-Parthian king Abdagasis of the 1st century CE and on the coins of some of the Kushan kings such as Vimakadphises, also of the 1st century CE. See also. Notes. References, Refuge, An Introduction to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Thanissaro Birk, 3rd edition, revised, 2001, a florin cubed, a florin euro, a florin 1/4, a florin 1/3 year registered trademark E to the first, Yamada Kihito, ISBN 4-89806-106-0. External links, Triratana on the footprints of the Buddha, Buddhapada and Triratana, another Triratana on Buddha's footprint. Cambodian Buddhist chanting, paying respect to the Triple Gem on YouTube.